Ballyhoo and welcome. The Passion Project continues. My name is Remedy Robinson, and this is an appreciation. This is an exploration of linguistics, language, and the joy of mistaken identity, as framed by the peerless poetry of the modern-day master, Elvis Costello. Today's slow drag is with Sour Milk Cow Blues from Goodbye Cruel World, released in 1984. The songwriting is credited to Elvis Costello. Built upon sturdy, nearly predictable end rhymes, this frenetic little piece outdoes itself with what's going on inside the walls. In the words of Aristotle, the whole is more than the sum of its parts. There's a certain, let's say, befuddlement towards the opposite sex in this piece that has led to some of Mr. Costello's memorable verbal gymnastics. And while it's only a guess on my part, Sour Milk Cow Blues might trace its inspiration back to Kokomo Arnold's 1934 Milk Cow Blues, a piece that very much seems to be about an actual cow. Then perhaps as a second allusion on Goodbye Cruel World to Elvis Presley, the first referring to his vintage wine in Worthless Thing. There is a 1954 Milk Cow Blues boogie that might bear a passing resemblance. The title of these two songs might be where the similarities end, but then again, I could be completely wrong. You like coffee and you like tea much more than you like me. And everybody says, watch out, yeah, for the Sour Milk Cow Blues. By naming the practical places where milk might be splashed, and a sense of withholding, this piece adds a heightened sense of unexplainable calamity as this first verse gets underway. Coffee, tea, and milk are innocent enough, yet it suggests a chemical reaction, a combustion that's bound to ensue if one element is found wanting. You like your coffee just a little too sweet. Without your sugar, life is incomplete. And everybody says, watch out, yeah, for the Sour Milk Cow Blues. The assertion of too sweet sends the mind reeling. It's such a subjective taste that it feels like an overstep to call attention to. Emotional fascism, maybe? Mirroring the first verse's admonishment, and everybody says, watch out, yeah. This second verse adds sugar to the mix, confounding our expectations. Your sugar helps to augment that the staple foods and beverages mentioned so far are mere metaphors for all the complicating elements found in modern romance. I think about you every day. Something about you is not the same. Something about the things that you say sounds like a different woman with a different name. Sour Milk Cow Blues. Now with a staggered A-B rhyme scheme, anchored with more high-frequency words, this third verse brings the suspicion of foul play to the forefront, although it's not an overt accusation just yet. You wear a different size and style of shoe. I think that someone must be poisoning you to replace you with a living double. Get out of my life right now and save them all of the trouble. As with the preceding verses, the end rhymes of this verse, now set down in an AABB pattern, use high-frequency words and don't call much attention to themselves. Inside the lines, however, there is much to write home about. Noticing the subtle differences of a loved one and then assuming it's the work of outside forces seems to be a logical yet illogical conclusion. Mr. Costello's use of pronouns is not to be trifled with. They changed your complexion and your personality. Somebody's putting ideas in your head. They took the girl of my dreams and left you here instead. Sour Milk Cow Blues. Now, with a much looser rhyme scheme, the accusation that they have changed someone's something continues with more examples. Could there be a more cutting remark than they took the girl of my dreams and left you here instead? You take your place in this parade of pleas. You dial a number and they offer relief. All alone with just your own device, they give you something, and it isn't advice. To break the hearts of a million listeners, start out as lovers and you end up as prisoners. Somebody's suffering from the things that you do. Someone's suffering, but you're glad it isn't you. Please and relief is an excellent slant rhyme and an inevitable change-up in the piece. You just can't keep Mr. Costello from his lofty flourishes. Device and advice, listeners and prisoners. With these lines come more sophisticated word choices, channeling the heady implication of the overall suspicion laid out in each ensuing verse. The closest example of a parade of pleas I could find is a 1954 book by Jeffrey Wagner entitled The Parade of Pleasure, a study of popular iconography in the USA. It's an early examination of the negative influence of pop culture on the American public, with sections on film, pin-up, pulp novels, television, and most importantly, comic books. So, make of that what you will. Start out as lovers and you end up in prisoners is reminiscent of I don't want to be your lover, I just want to be your victim, from this year's Models, The Beat, only this time it's from the perspective of the perpetrators. Somebody's suffering, but you're glad it isn't you, is a devastating character assassination, and another great example of not only Mr. Costello's cleverness, but of his word economy as well. He made his point sharp and clear without having to go into too much detail. Put your fingertips up to the screen. Repeat after me. Wake at the count of 3. Now I don't know which is worse, what they're doing to you or what you're doing to me. Sour Milk Cow Blues. After the suspicion, after all the corroborating evidence to prove his hypothesis, in this last verse, our narrator has simply given in to his fate and her fate, resigned rather than angry, offering up a plausible explanation for it all, finding an unexpected common ground with what seemed to be his nemesis in the beginning of the piece. Dig it! Again, this has been a slow drag with Sour Milk Cow Blues from 1984's Goodbye Cruel World. Whether this piece used Arnold's Milk Cow Blues as its springboard, or whether it was meant to be a seemingly straightforward pop song, Mr. Costello's intimate relationship with words cannot be held back. This piece started with mainstream rhymes and then eventually gave way to his familiar bass line of cleverness. The imagery of a person changing before his eyes is told through escalating metaphors, accusations, and subjective truths. In a word, it's genius. And that's it for today's slow drag, my friend. Thank you for listening. Other gems from Goodbye Cruel World you'll enjoy a slow drag with are episode 6. Don't let them see you crying that way. It's a slow drag with Joe Porterhouse. Episode 30, The Bells Take Their Toll. It's It's a slow drag with Peace in Our Time. Episode 57, Your Affectionate Fingerprints. That's a slow drag with Worthless Thing. Episode 74, Talking Shop. It's a slow drag with Deportees Club. And episode 92, As You Take Your Key. It's a slow drag with Room with No Number. You can find me on social media in all the usual places. I'd love to hear from you. Just search for my name, Remedy Robinson, or the name of my podcast, Slow Drag with Remedy. Also, please visit slowdragwithremedy.com for companion transcripts and other useful information. And as always, thank you for helping to get the word out about this little passion project. Truly, it means the world. So, until next time, adieu, my little ballyhoo. Slow Drag with Remedy.